I am about to share with you the biggest mistake I have ever made as a reseller in my almost 5 years of reselling. Pull up a seat. Let's take it back. The last video that I posted shared with you, I sold a toy for $575. I went on in the video to reveal that I sold a limited edition Sugar Plum Fairy American Girl for $575. I had paid $250 for it a couple years ago. I had it listed for $699. I accepted a $575 offer on eBay. My buyer paid. All was well in the world. And then here's what happened. As many of you know, I have an assistant named Tina. She's the reason my business is moving forward these days. She's fantastic. And I've slowly been teaching her different aspects of my business. So I wanted to show her how I printed a label on eBay because she's really comfortable with Poshmark. So I said, we have this big sale. Let's go through and I'll show you how to print the label. So I walked her through. I have a separate computer that is typically set up over here. It's my old laptop, and I use that strictly for shipping. And I have my label maker over here. So Tina was standing right here in the room with me, and I started going step by step through everything. And she weighed the item for me. She measured it, and we just went over how you have to do the length, the width, and the height, and plug it all in. I think I charged $25 for shipping. I recorded the length, the width, and then she came in the room and we were chatting, and I said, this is a $575 sale. This is a first-time eBay buyer, which I talked a little bit about my concern that it was somebody who didn't have any history of buying on eBay, and it made me a little bit nervous. So I actually added $3.25 to my cost for the shipping because I wanted to require a signature just to protect myself a little bit. And in addition to that, I said, Tina, just to be safe, let's film the entire process. Let's film you packaging it up. You know, we'll show how we're packaging it. We'll show that there is a brand new doll that's in here. We took it out of the box because I wasn't sure if my original invoice was at the bottom of the box. I didn't want my address in there. We packaged it up really nice. Tina taped it. I even showed the label. We packaged it up and we sent it on its way. I had scheduled a porch pickup for that day. I was thrilled, right? I had already filmed the video. The person had already paid. Everything was going really smoothly. In the midst of it all, another thing that I mentioned in my last video was that I had a pair of Olakai shoes that somebody had canceled. I think that was the context of Tina and my conversation later in the day. Well, you know, when you ship everything out for Poshmark, you get the updates like such and such item is now tracking. I had a bunch of sales going out. I had started running a BOGO sale. So we had a bunch of stuff that went out. So all of a sudden my phone kind of lit up with this is tracking, this is tracking, this is tracking. Awesome. I think it was the Olakai shoes that Tina's like, whatever happened with the shoes? Because I had spoken to somebody, I forgot to disclose a flaw. So he wanted to cancel the order. So I said, let me check. So I go into eBay. I had also had 2 other sales. One was like a Madewell top and one was something else, both tracking. And my American Girl doll was not tracking. And I'm like, that's odd. Literally everything else is tracking right now, Tina. Why is this showing up as not tracking? Now I'm panicking because it's a $575 sale. With tax and shipping, my buyer paid $633. I paid $250 for this item. So this is like $500 out the door. Why is it not tracking? We're going over records and I'm like, you know, we packaged it up, we weighed it, we did it together. Tina was standing right here. So I said, you know what? Let me just watch the video that we made to see what the label said. Tina's like, great idea. Or maybe she suggested it and I said, great idea. We reviewed the video. I feel like a freaking detective. Okay, so this is the doll that's going in. She is new in box. She's very secured. You can see the little strap around her neck here. All of the accessories are in here as well. This is the original packaging from American Girl. And we are going to, actually, we should look underneath and see if my address is under there because there might be a shipping label in there. Okay, so let's just raise it out. Here, I'm gonna hold the box if you raise her from, there we go. Does it work? Is there anything in here? Okay, there's nothing. Okay, so here's the box, there's the doll. Let's put her back in. I hold the label like this. The address said Erie, Pennsylvania. And I was like, uh-oh, this American Girl doll is supposed to be going to Wisconsin. Now I freak the F out. I'm like, oh my God, because everything is tracking. I saw stars. I'm like, Tina, I have to go. I live in a small town. Thank God the people at the post office know me. I get in my car and I fly to the post office. So my heart is like racing. And I explained the whole situation. I said, all I know is this is going to Erie, Pennsylvania. That was the tag that was on here. And now at this point, I don't know if I also printed a label for the Madewell. I'm assuming I did because it was tracking, but I didn't even look at my orders. That wasn't my first instinct. I just ran to the post office because they porch pickupped it. So I didn't know where it was in the process. So she's like, Lori, calm down. It's gonna be okay. Your guy is not back with the truck yet. And I was like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. She said, I will pull anything off the truck from your address that is going to Erie, Pennsylvania, and I will hold it. And she's like, because it's such a high value thing, I'll put it in the safe and you can come tomorrow and pick it up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had a moment where I was so happy to live in a small town, because if this were Boston or New York or a place like that, they'd laugh at me if I said, can you go through the truck and just pull that box off for me? And I was still nervous because then I was wondering, well, what happened to the Madewell package? Where's that going? So then I came home, fired up my computer, and I went into eBay and I looked under all orders. And sure enough, it showed that I had shipped the Madewell shirt twice. So it showed the picture of the Madewell shirt. One of them, the shipping was $5.99, which was what I charged my buyer, whatever it cost. And the other one was $20+, which was the charge for the weight of the American Girl doll. So my friend in Erie, Pennsylvania was about to get a, $575 new doll along with her beautiful black satin Madewell shirt. So I went back to the post office before they closed. I'm like, just to clarify, you're gonna see two labels to Erie, Pennsylvania. One is the Madewell and one is the doll. So she said, do you want me to let the shirt go? I said, absolutely, just grab the box. Thank you so much, I love you so much. I have to bring them some Dunkin' Donuts or something. So first thing in the morning, I went and I picked up the box. My friend Sandy, so it was the Lauren and Sandy team, they are fantastic. They had pulled it aside for me. I think they intercepted the package at the post office. Went back a second time and I showed them that I had sent two labels to the same address. One of the labels went on the Madewell top that it was meant to be on, and then the other label sent to the same address accidentally was on the American Girl doll. It is crazy snowy out here today, but desperate times call for desperate measures. So let's go get that $6 item, $600 item. Okay, I am at the post office and I have secured the box. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, thank God for the women here. They are incredible. Now I'm gonna check my P.O. box while I'm here. Oh, I just feel like a $633 weight was lifted off of my shoulders. Thank you, Sandy. She's the best. All right, I made it home. I'm gonna go inside, shower, and we will talk all about this crazy process. In the meantime, I actually called customer service at eBay. Shout out to eBay for having a phone that you pick up and a person who speaks to you. It did take me quite a few tries to enter in the right problem so that I got to speak to a representative, because it kept trying to send me back to how to cancel an order, but I couldn't cancel the order because it had already started to ship. So once it goes into shipping, I couldn't cancel it on my own, but the representative canceled it for me, and I already have the refund to eBay. So mwah, 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 eBay, thank you so much. I know I complain about eBay sometimes, but they handled this so incredibly well. So here's the box in question. Hold on. This is the giant box that now has the address that is going to Wisconsin. In all's well that ends well. Assuming that this person is happy with their purchase, we're good to go. But all I can say is If Tina hadn't questioned me about those Olakai shoes, I would have never gone on to eBay, you know, because I just have a lot of faith, for better or for worse. Sometimes it works to my advantage, sometimes not. I'm like, oh, it'll get there. I scanned it, it'll go. I just happened to be looking in to see what happened with the shoes. And then I noticed that it hadn't shipped, and because it was such a high-priced item, it was something that really stuck out. But if I had not filmed the boxing of that, I would have never known what the address was that it was actually shipped to. Now, if I had gone into all orders, I would have seen that too. I could have figured it out that way. But in that panic moment, I had no idea. The other thing that I found very interesting, there was no auto eBay message that said, hey, wait a second, Lori Tata, you already printed a label for this. Like, it was perfectly fine letting me print a second label. But now I do want to say, and please tell me in the comments if this has happened to you. This morning, I sold an Entertainment Weekly special edition of Scream, the movie. I was also sending a pair of bird dog swim trunks out. I was lucky because they were both 10 ounces and they were both eBay. So I opened up the bird dog listing. I printed the label, 10 ounces, $5.99 was what I charged my buyer, printed it out, stuck it onto the bird dog, and then I moved on to my Entertainment Weekly. It happened to be the same weight, slipped it into the eBay bag, but then when I went to print the label, it said that I had already printed the label. And I'm like, no, I just printed the label for bird dog. So I looked and it was going to a museum in Burbank, California. So somebody in Hollywood was getting the entertainment magazine and it was going to a museum. It was like Mystical Museum or something like that. And I'm like, I don't think Mystical Museum is where the bird dogs are going. So I looked and sure enough, it had happened again. So my question to you is, am I just losing my mind, or has anybody else had this happen to you where you're clicking on something? I mean, I was really particular today when I was clicking on the buttons, given what I had just gone through with the American Girl doll. And sure enough, when I went to print it, it had printed the label for the wrong thing again. So I just caught it before it went out. I cut the label off of my plastic poly mailer, and because it was the same weight, I was able to take the California label and just stick it onto the Entertainment Weekly magazine and then reprint the bird dogs, which, you know, I double checked that was going to like Sarasota or something. So how bizarre that it happened the next day. So then it made me question, is this an eBay glitch, or is that just wishful thinking? Am I just losing it? Anyway, that was a huge crisis averted. It was definitely the biggest mistake I've ever made as a reseller. I've mixed labels up before, but not for an item that sold for $575. This could have been a mess because my recipient is under no obligation, to my knowledge, to send an item back that is shipped to him or her with their address and name on it. So this woman could have just ended up with this American Girl doll and she would never have to send it back. I'm so grateful for our postal employees here, and grateful for Tina for kind of being somebody who crosses her T's and dots her I's much better than I do. And just the fact that we just happen to be at the right place at the right time to catch that. So whew, deep breath. I am so happy that we figured that out. And I am still going to do my videos where I'm kind of doing like a Q&A, and I say my flip of the week and my flop of the week, but this just deserved its own video. So I will touch on this when I do my video, but I had other little flops to talk about. There are always flops every week. That video will be coming out soon, sooner than later. I just haven't sat down to actually film it in the format that I would like, but I wanted to share this with you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to hear more of my crazy adventures in thrifting. Let me know in the comments if something like this has ever happened to you, or what your biggest reseller mistake has been, because I'm sure we can all relate to one another. There's so much room for error in what we do as resellers. So be kind to yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. Everybody's doing the best that they can. Go easy on yourself and check those labels. All right, everybody, I love you so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.